All right, today is December 22nd, 2016, and right now at 2 p.m. we have a temperature of 62 degrees in the foothills of Los Angeles. Uh, the relative humidity is 72%. We've got a dew point of 53 degrees. The barometer is reading 29.93 inches, which is dropped because we have a low pressure system passing through right now, and which is dumping a lot of rain right in the Las Vegas area. And we'll take a look at the Doppler map here. I'm going to have to refresh that. Come back to that here in a second. In the meantime, let's take a look. We've got a 988 millibar hurricane force storm right here, just coming out of the Bering Sea area, West Pacific / Bering Sea, right up in this area. So this is moving sort of in a easterly pattern right now. It's forecast to move sort of back up towards Alaska. We've got additional rain forecast starting tomorrow, Saturday. Friday. Today is Thursday. So for tomorrow, Friday, we have, I presume this is what is going to bring the next phase of rain right here. And so they've chopped up the moisture field here in the jet stream to allow this to move in and maybe dump some more rain. That'll be great news. We sure need it. Now, let's look next at the western U.S. water vapor loop. We can see that low. This has a transmitter on it. We can see the odd geometric shapes as this advances through. There is rain showing up, and last night about midnight I was looking at this. I was just too tired to do a video, too lazy and tired. We have these 3 states that were completely filled up with rain. Most of southern New Mexico, a lot of Arizona, and all of Southern California. So that's good news. Let's go back to that Doppler map. And we can see that Las Vegas right now has got some yellow and red right over that area. You can see that there. And we have Arizona, Flagstaff, and eastern Arizona and New Mexico are all getting still a lot of residual rain. We got snow showing up here. All right. And later on, I'll show some manipulation that was occurring on the maps, the Doppler maps. Now, LAX, the airport here in Los Angeles, major international airport, they had to divert traffic. In other words, the outbound traffic had to take off to the east, which is not a normal condition. Normally, they take off on out on the westbound. They fly out over the ocean, do a loop around, and fly out to wherever they're going, or they keep going to wherever they're heading. But they usually take off to the west, and that means they fly out over the ocean. Well, that didn't happen yesterday because of this low pressure system moving through. In addition to the transmitter activity that is taking place right on this core, and of course, descending air in a system like this is going to generate a lot of uh, uh, wind shear, and that's why I believe that they moved those flights in a different direction, because this whole thing was spinning just right off of LA. It was moving through right about midnight. It was moving right over LA, and we can see it's moving on through Nevada and out towards the east. Now we see that there's still a very large blockade right here, and that's separating this tropical flow pattern right here. This is all Pineapple Express moisture that's wound into the core of this system. This is well separated by a blockade built in. This is a transmitter generated feature right here, and that's going to separate this cooler, much colder weather from getting mixed up with this warmer weather, which would cause some wild weather, a lot of wind, and possibly some thunderstorms and lightning and all that sort of thing. All right, so this is presumably the next round of rain right here. Take a look at that as it moves in. Now, when the clouds clear, we have some sun right now. We have sunny weather. Things are starting to dry out in the foothill areas. And there was some chemtrail haze visible over the clearing There is still a lot of thunderheads over the mountains. I'll take a look. Let's just zoom in right now. And we can see got some sunny weather right all through this area. And there are thunderheads over the mountains. They're not lasting too long. They're collapsing, and I believe that is because of there's transmitters hitting those thunderheads, breaking those up. Also, we see a channel right through here. This is some manipulation. Take a look at that later on. Now here is the southwest infrared, or rather the water vapor loop. See that low right there passing through. There's a transmitter on this. This is generating a lot of wind. We had some wind here yesterday, last night, forcing descending air into this spinning low pressure system, which wants to spin counterclockwise. And of course, descending air is spinning clockwise. And that causes a lot of turbulence, and that's why those planes, the jets, were rerouted out of LAX, going to the east instead of west off the runway. All right, here is the rainbow loop. And wind shear is a major enemy. That's a big enemy of air traffic, especially when you're landing, because wind shear causes the lift on the airfoil of the wing to not want to pull, to generate lift. And of course, the plane will fall out of the sky briefly. And when you're landing a plane, that's the last thing you want to have happen. Okay, so let's look next at the SSCC water vapor map. And you see that low pressure system moving through the area right here with that blockade built in. Just following it right along. That'll prevent all this cooler North Pacific weather from getting mixed up. Now let's go over here and pan out to the west. We can see that hurricane force storm out here. This is right at the 180 degree longitude, about 40 degrees north. Keep an eye on that. You can see the big cold front associated with that system. It has a fairly organized spiral right there. All right, now here is the MODIS today map, the color satellite map for yesterday. I pulled up yesterday's map because we can see why we got rain yesterday, and that is because there's not a whole lot of chemtrail spraying. Here's the Las Vegas area right here and the Colorado River. Just panned over Colorado River right there. So we have all this natural cloud cover moving over, and that allowed a lift in the atmosphere. And of course, we got some rain. We do see a little bit of aerosol haze, chemtrail haze right here in this area, where the opening in this cloud cover is. Right here, we don't see that aerosol haze, or over here, just right here. So there was some sporadic spraying going on, and they're also right here we can see a little bit of spraying, aerosol haze, generally right in this area over Los Angeles, which is right here. Okay, now as we pan around down towards, this is San Diego right here, as we pan to the east, we can really see the heavy spraying going on, especially down here in Mexico. Right down here is very, very heavy. And so looking at the Doppler map last night and yesterday, there was most of the rain was all just concentrated right in the Southern California area, maybe just a little south of into Mexico right here. Most of it was in San Diego and offshore. And so we got a lot of rain, a good amount anyway, for out of that little system. That was a big system that moved through. We should have had a lot more rain. The size of that system, and that looked like a little hurricane, actually. Go back and take another look at that. It sort of looked like a hurricane sitting offshore. But we'll take whatever they give us at this point. Okay, so there was a lot of spraying, but they didn't it didn't stop the rain entirely, but there was some sporadic spraying, as we can see here in this map, MODIS today map. Most of that spraying, I say, is down in the, here we go. Here's some natural cloud cover, and then we get into the chemtrail spraying. the haze right here, which is this off-white gray stuff. Right. Now here's some maps that I took screenshots yesterday of the rain in the area. And this is a straight edge here and there. Right up here, this is the high desert. We have Lancaster, Quartz Hill. Let's take a look at the next one here. We have close up of that same feature. And then next we have we have a scatter pattern right out here, sort of a circular scatter pattern. This all points right up to the transmitter right near Lompoc and Vandenberg. Right here, everything is sort of a circular pattern right here, which is all chopped up. And next we have near looking at Edwards Air Force Base right down here. There's a transmitter just off of this road. We can see some straight lines that all triangulate to that one area right here. There's a line there, several lines here, and we see the breakup pattern. So there's a transmitter right off this road, which one of the fellows that watches these videos pointed out. Greatly appreciate that help. I don't have time to do all of this. Let's put this right there. Let's take a look at the next one. A close-up. This was at midnight, 12:33 p.m. or a.m. last night. Very early this morning, rather, and we can see that same transmitter near Edwards, and the scatter pattern it generates. It chops up, breaks up the rain. All right. And of course, there's an LA Times article that's linked to the Drudge Report on the center column of the Drudge Report, talking about the air traffic had to be rerouted because of that big low pressure. Actually, that wasn't really a low pressure system. It was around 1,013 millibar, but the fact is it was a very large spinning vortex, and they had a transmitter on it. It wasn't really a storm. They called it a storm, but in terms of barometric pressure, they don't start talking about storms until you get down to 995 millibar, 990 millibar, somewhere around there. But again, I think the real problem was the wind shear caused by that transmitter right on top of that storm. Now here's the surface pressure map. We can see a closed low just off of Southern California right there. And we have high pressure out here, a couple of highs. And then we have the 500 millibar, a low right there, closed low. And we have some moisture moving in. I think this will be the next rain generator, that big pocket of moisture. And then we have the 300 millibar with that low. So this is a big system. You go back to the surface map, this is 1,018 millibar right there. So this is not really a storm. It was just a weather system with a lot of moisture in it, and that was allowed to dump rain. And that caught all the puppets on TV off guard. They didn't. Everybody was surprised that we got rain, but again, it's in their hands. They can let it rain, or they can stop the rain. Okay, so that's the report for today. For now, we may do another report later, and we'll just leave it right here. Okay, that's it.